What do you think is in store for the future of open-endedness research in AI? Do you think it's going to be related to genetic algorithms or related to reinforcement learning, or is it going to branch off of something else?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do think that the field has a future, and so I would encourage people to learn more about open-endedness as a field. I think that the future of open-endedness has several facets, and um, like the core issue in it, I think, is this theoretical question, which I find very fascinating, which is will we or can we or when will we figure out how to get a system to open-endedly perpetuate interesting artifacts indefinitely? Like that to me is the holy grail of open-endedness. It's a system that never ends. And we are
Right,
far from it right now and have not seen anything close. I think this is
right.
a really interesting puzzle because to me it's very it's very kind of like commensurate with like the problem of like trying to achieve AGI or artificial general intelligence. Like because I think they're both equally grand challenges, and yet one of them has way more attention than the other. But I think like the open-endedness challenge, like this challenge of the never-ending system, is just equally grandiose and important, and would be absolutely an incredible breakthrough. Like right now, open-ended systems or so-called open-ended systems, what they do, like with the algorithms that we have today, is they tend to produce something interesting, new interesting things for a while, which probably means like a couple days generally, maybe a couple weeks at best. But if I came back in a year, it wouldn't be worth it. If I came back in 10 years, it wouldn't be worth it. And that's just different from like the kinds of open-ended systems that exist organically in nature. Like evolution, like that gave us a billion years, more than a billion years of like interesting stuff just coming out over and over, and it's continuing to this day.
Mhm.
Civilization, which is the human-driven version of this, civilization has been going for thousands of years and continues to produce interesting artifacts. We and interesting is an understatement. I mean, these things are unbelievably like I mean, human intelligence is a product of evolution. Like this is like one of the most interesting things that exists in the universe, and it's being produced by this particular open-ended process. Civilization is producing pretty much everything you look outside your window and see that people interact with and use that we find useful is a product of civilization. And so these are incredibly powerful processes that go basically, for all intents and purposes, forever. And the algorithms that we have are pale shadows of that can only go for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks. And so there is a remaining challenge to understand how to get them to be indefinite. And I think it's achievable. And so that makes it really exciting because I don't think there's any theoretical reason why we couldn't do this. And we are, I think, so this is sort of a more researchy answer, but I think from the perspective of the field, we are going to move the direction of making breakthroughs in understanding how to keep these processes going for longer and longer and longer. And the longer they go, the better they are, because it's this stepping stone perpetuation issue. Like the more things they discover, the more things they can discover. And that should be possible to set up in an algorithmic framework. And then you'll have a truly never ending algorithm, which we have never seen in the history of computer science and would be completely fascinating. I also think that this is instrumental in AI and the pursuit of AGI. So that's another part of it is that, look, that's probably to me the most distinguishing aspect of human intelligence is that we are open ended. Take that out, and you've got just robots. I mean, we are not that interesting if you take open endedness out of our intelligence. And that's, I think, a serious concern for what we are doing right now in machine learning. We're making incredible progress at getting machines to do things that we've already done. And that has huge economic value. So it's not to diminish like the importance of what's happening right now, but that is very different from getting machines to do things that we haven't done or that we could do or will do. That's a whole other thing, and that's open-endedness. And so to truly grasp this superlative aspect of what it means to be human, I think involves conquering open-endedness. It's a component of actually making something that's truly AGI. And it's really interesting because it's not just a component of the AGI, but it's also a stepping stone to the AGI because I think it can be argued, and this is a slightly weaker argument, but I think also important to consider that the only way to get to the AGI requires going through stepping stones that are also open-ended. Or in other words, an open-ended algorithm may be necessary to get to the point where you have open-ended brains. After all, that's what happened. We are a product of evolution.